Hellos. Alright, so I'm doing a quick review of a game someone asked me to look at. It's a new player, Lilili, or Lelele, I don't know who it is exactly. Um, and they were playing New Zealand. I can't remember who they're playing against. We're going to go through the game in a moment. But I just thought it'd be useful to take a quick look at their deck. So, from the offset, yeah, this is a balanced deck, and they were playing this in quick play, I believe, so you don't really know what you're going to come up against. So for starters, if you're playing balanced, you want to be going more long game. So 72 units is not an incredible amount if you're playing in quick play. So I would probably unvet this, so you've got more numbers. In B phase, you can see you've got lots of units here, possibly a bit too much. Well, yeah, you're not going to use all of these, but there's a good variety. I understand why. I would probably, if we're going for the long game, I would probably chuck the Maori into C, actually. Then another problem we've got here is the field engineers. You really want to have these to gain early ground. So, yeah, but there's not a lot of options left for things to put in here. So I think Digger's Piat can be useful in B because they've got the anti-tank capability. So I might do something like this and possibly unvet these as well, just so you've got more uplights. Then you can sort of spam out more uplights in C and use the leaders to boost them up. So I would probably go for something a bit more like this, not exactly, but along those lines. And the motorized rifles are also worth. Oh no, they don't have half tracks. Ah, I thought they did. Different division. Never mind. Yeah, so I'd go for something like that. In terms of the tanks, yeah, A, B, C, fair enough, yeah, nothing wrong with that. If you're going to take a leader, then make sure you've got enough. I mean, if you're going to take a commander, make sure you've got enough leader units in here. They've got 8, it's okay. Yeah, these mortars, I do prefer these over the 81. Because there's no reason to take the 81, because you get less shells, you get a bit more smoke, so it's useful in that respect. It's the range isn't as great. The rate of fire is a bit better, quite a bit better, but it does less damage. So yeah, I would go for these. Yeah, these are decent. Yes, these in C seems a bit of overkill. I would rather put these, to be honest, in B, because you tend to need them more in the early game than the late game. And the planes. Yeah, Spitfire Recon, these are workers fighters as well, highly maneuverable, really good, really good units these. I do like them a lot. The Spitfire's reduced price now, it makes sense. The Baltimore, I would agree with this because it's a beautiful looking plane, but in terms of stats and things, I do think the Boston is actually better, but I would still go for the Baltimore because it just looks better. That's the only reason I would do that. These, I believe, you get 2 in A now. I've not really tried these out, so I don't know. But it might be worth a go. Yeah, Wolverine's good in B. Good idea. Now, the 17-pounders. I would get rid of the Piat. I don't really think that they're that worth it. If you're going for a long game as well, I would just go for more 6-pounders. I mean, more 17-pounders, so you got 10 of them. So good for dealing with heavier tanks if you need to. And again, here I would probably, if you're going to have these, then I would probably, if you've just got one card you're going to use, I'd probably use them in B. If you want to use these in A, if you need some HE support, they're fairly useful. Other things we got in here, the Vickers, this actually makes a big difference with the Raiders because they don't get spotted quite as easily. So, yeah, exceptional stealth. Whereas if you go to these, the Vickers have got very good stealth. It does make a decent bit of difference. If you're going to have these ones as well, you want to use them to rush at the start of the game to get your frontline influence. Whereas these, you probably won't want to do that, even though they're just as fast, but you don't want to put them into a position where they can get killed quite quickly. Because, yeah, they do a good amount of damage, they're expensive, but they are generally better units. Other than that, there's not a terrible amount which is wrong with this. Other than you'd have to have some kind of anti-air in A, I would say. So I'd probably switch this out and put it in A, and leave it at that. But yeah, not huge difference to the things I would make here. Just the engineers really, just for rushing the front line and getting up there. They're helpful because they're in the jeeps. So you want to be doing that with either the field engineers or with the cheaper 20-point machine guns to get to the front line. Other than that, fairly reasonable deck. Just in terms of this, you need to think about the longer game if you're doing C phase in quick play mode. And as a rule of thumb, I generally like to say you want to have around about 20 units in A phase minimum. But when it comes to field engineers, like I would say this actually counts as about 4 or 5 units because they're the size of them. So then that would put this up to like 10, 20 something units ish. Yeah, because they're small squads, they will die very quickly, but very useful for popping them into a forest alongside your flamers. So your flamers will stop the opponents from throwing their TNT, and then you can get to throw off your TNT instead and get to kill their units. So yeah, useful. Yeah, these things, I don't really think they're worth it, to be honest. The only reason to take these is if they come in the half tracks, and the half tracks are not here. I'm sure they used to be. Maybe they will add them to this unit in the future. Because they're 8-man squads, they're just not got enough punch. You're basically going to be using them as CQC units if you use these, but not very good CQC units because they don't dish out a hell of a lot of damage, like 2 points at close range. So if you're up against a tank division and you were building this before the game, then these, you put them at 1-star vet, chuck them into the forest with the flamers and with the engineers, and then if any light armor comes in, you can pop this out of cover and try and snipe it. Other than that, I won't really bother with them, to be honest. Alright, so let's move straight to the gameplay. Okay, here we are. So first of all, let's take a look at the deployment. So on this side, you've got the leader and the Piat going very, very deep here, right up to this area, because this road can be covered quite early. So I would say that's a little bit, possibly a little bit dangerous, but the jeeps are quite fast, and you're up against 5th Panzer, so there's probably not a lot can get into you quick. There could be some early flamers that come into here though. So yeah, that's not something I would usually do, to be honest. Now we've got the tank. You got it fast moving around to this area. Again, fast move. You always want to put quick hunt on, to be honest. If you see something, stop and fire on it. And the infantry you got coming in here. And you've got them all unloading everything. All of this is unloading in exactly the same spot. This is a bad idea to do. Very bad idea. So you want to deploy your units slightly differently. I will show you this after the game, actually, how to deploy. A lot of people don't actually realize how to give orders quickly. And if it's in a quick play game, you probably don't have time sometimes, especially if you're a new player. But you want to be distributing these units around here to get this flag. You want to put something in here as well early. Try and get something up to here, like one of the fast units up to here as well, like I said about the engineers. Possibly drop in an AT gun around here. You can dodge it between the buildings. But you can sort of maybe push for this flag a little bit if you're lucky early on. So there's something to think about there. And now these guys, where are they going? Now the 6-pounder is going all the way back here. He's way too far back. So this would, you want to put, if you're putting it in this area, then you want to put it on the road here, possibly somewhere around here, maybe even on this road. Or if you're going for this general area, I would probably go for somewhere like here. Or if I felt confident and I was pushing up further, maybe pop it into here or into this area. But roundabout somewhere in this region would be good if you think you can hold down the forest. The sniper, again, you need to be careful on this map. As you can see, you've wanted to unload here, it's going all the way around here, then to there. It's a bit crazy. So as soon as if you're deploying anything into this area, as soon as you start the game, then you want to look at the route your units are taking, because they take some ridiculous routes to get into here. So be very careful about that. Again, you want to drop your sniper somewhere around where you're going to be dropping your AT gun. So this makes sense putting it here so the AT gun can see, but it's just too far back. What else you got going over here? A Sherman, fast moving Sherman up to here. Again, if you've got the AT gun to back this up in this area, so you move your Sherman like all the way up to here even maybe, and if you've got your AT gun in here as well, then it can be quite potent with a sniper as a spot. These guys into here, fairly standard. Again, if you had the engineers, these would help out a lot in helping you hold this flag. And this is a fairly light deployment for this forest region, because this does get, yes, can get quite packed with infantry early on. So just be aware of that. And you want to, generally you want to keep one unit back on the flag and then advance forward with some others, or have two lines. And what I like to do on this map as well is drop early artillery in here, as in mortars or something, generally mortars, and I put them on defensive fire for this area in general, because obviously your opponent will, if they know what's going on, they'll have the same kind of idea. They put mortars in here, so when their mortars start firing, you will counter them almost instantly, and then you can sort of gain the upper hand. Anyway, on this side, again, you're doing the same kind of thing here. Everything is unloading in just one position. I don't know if you were stuck for time here, but generally you want to be unloading infantry into here and then moving up into this building to hold this flag. An AT gun possibly back here in this building. You can pop it in and out of cover. Recon is a good idea over here, so you can see what's going on, and you can maybe sneak something around the back as well if possible. But this is a bit tricky, and also here it's a good idea to put some like a machine gun in here, some kind of support weapon, a light AT gun possibly. It's a pretty good thing to do. But what you've got going is you've got one unit of hoplites, the machine gun, and the Staghound, and again they're all going to one place. Another reason why this is quite bad, you can see your opponent's got a recon plane out. If you can see all your units clumped in one place, you just call out a bomber. You can bomb them and hit them all at once, which is not good for you. Anyway, let's just move ahead with the gameplay. I'm going to put this on from your perspective so I can see what's going on properly. So let's get it going. So hopefully that's a bit useful. Deployment is really important in this game. If you get it wrong, you can lose you everything. But if you get a bad deployment, a bad start to the game, just keep playing and see what you can do. Try and learn a bit as best you can. Yeah, and early recon planes are a good idea. I always think it's good to try and do that. If you've got a cheap option, it's a good thing to do. Either start with a recon plane or start with a fighter to kill a recon plane. Or you've repositioned your sniper to here. That's a good move. That makes sense. Yeah, all this I think might suffer over here. Staghound is too far forward here. And there's something you need to be aware of as well with the Commonwealth AT guns. They don't have HE rounds, whereas in the Axis they do. You see the Pak 40 has HE as well. So it takes out our Staghound really easily. Let's have a look over this side. Yeah, see the problem here? All this is clumped up. It's doing okay at the moment, but it's all open to the SDKFZ. Now, there's another problem with the game. Like, as you notice here, you advance all these together, your leader will go to the front, which you don't want, and it will die first. So you want to, yeah, just give it an attack order if you're going to do this, and then click on your leader, and then click behind where your units are going. Otherwise, you just waste your leader and you lose the advantage that it gives to your units. It's a really stupid thing in this game. I have no idea why they do that. I really wish I would fix it, to be honest. Alright, so yeah, you might think this is a good advance, but there's still clumped up your units. You want to be spreading these out now, putting one into this building, maybe one into this building, one into this building, one into here, one into the church, and your Sherman is going ahead of your infantry. It's not something you want to be doing. There could easily be a Shrek hidden in here, and it wouldn't show up yet. It looks like you've got some kind of gun firing at you from over here. Yeah, you've got a pack in here that has got line of sight onto your Sherman. And it's going to go down now. So now the advantage is lost in the centre. On this side, yeah, you got taken out by Pioneers. As soon as you see this and stop losing them, you want to start reinforcing. This is too far back, this mortar as well. You want to put it a bit further forward. And now you're bringing some more reinforcements. Yeah, Maori are decent enough at close range because they've got the fanatic trait, so they will sort of survive and be able to retreat them if you're lucky enough. You won't get surrendered. Over here, when this happens, I would try and take advantage of this. Maybe a mortar here, smoke off the road where you can, and then try and rush in some infantry in here and put them on return fire only to hold these flags. Would be a thing to do. On this side, you see you've not deployed any units into here, so you're losing this flag for nothing. So you should be 12-12 for now, really, but you're not. And you're being pulled on different fronts because it looks like you've deployed these far forward. You've deployed over here quite far forward as well, I would say. And you've tried to attack in the forest as well. You don't want to be attacking in 3 places at once. You want to be trying to micro in one area at a time. Because these units, as far as I can see, you've not really paid any attention to them at all. They're just stuck in one position. And the guerrilla, if it gets a hit around here, can kill all of these in one go. And again, in the forest, due to, yeah, generally, the Commonwealth divisions in CQC, they do alright, but unfortunately New Zealand is not that fantastic. If you don't have the engineers as well, then I would just play defensively in the forest and like stagger, have a defensive line here, then one here, and use your planes to come in and bomb, or your mortars to cover you and help support. Get in here, you've not put any units in here either, so this flag has been lost. You want to think about the game in different stages, like you've got your front line, then your sort of backup units. Because what would happen is like your opponent can now see this flag is empty, you've got nothing back here by the way the front line is being affected, so he can maybe think, oh, I can rush some things in here. Same situation over here, he's probably just can filter loads of infantry into here, take this area out, lock it down, make it impossible for you to reinforce. And yeah, 6-pounders. It's a bold putting it that far up, but it's too vulnerable up there without any support. So these appear to be the main problems. Let's just look from your opponent's point of view for a second, actually. Right. Yeah, he's made some errors here. I did have a quick look through the game before I started to play, do this video for you. He made an error here with all these half-tracks. He's unloaded them and just left them there. They're not doing anything. This would be the opportunity where I'm saying, you can see this flag, this area's got nothing in here. He could just rush these forward and try and grab flags, drive some around here, just be really annoying and obnoxious with them. Could even drive them all out onto this road and into these buildings. It could be extremely annoying. He could have really rushed over the top of you here. Is he taking advantage of this? Again, Step Knight seems to be a newer player as well, not advancing these units. He has put them into the open, so he can get eyes. The pack is there to cover as well. And he could just be rushing units into here now and reinforcing. Where he's just reinforcing into here, where he should be pushing up to this area, I would say. But maybe he's tried that and the pack has got him. Anyway, let's just continue. Yeah, so from his perspective, there's so many places he can take advantage of, like here and here, and here. But the mortars have done the work now. But if you had them out from the start, I always try to get one in deployment because they're so handy to have the mortars at the start. The utility they provide is really good. The smoke especially can be extremely useful. Yeah, and this guerrilla's mopped up here along with the half tracks, so your infantry's all died here. You never brought in any extra armor to reinforce this area, so it's all collapsing. Let's just move ahead. Yeah, and both on balance as well, so he's got just as much as you've got.
Need some firepower.
Yeah, still feel these are a bit too far back, so you don't have radios on them, so put them further out. Put them maybe around about here. But if you're just trying to take advantage of the range, they can fire all the way over to here.
Medic. Cut them down. Ready to fire. Medic. Ah!
Just keep going. So in B phase, now you're going to have some 17 pounders, I believe. The prime positions for these will be up here. Especially you've got the Sherman HE to support. Get a sniper in here to spot. Drop your AT gun around here and then just poke it out every now and again. But be wary of any HE over here that could take you out. And having some mortars to back up and shoot at. Yeah, because I think the machine guns, they can almost get to here but not quite. Oh, 17 pounder, good position, but unload. Bringing it round this road is, you can't really take it up that far at this point in the game. You're going to be dropping it back here and then bringing it out. As you can see, it gets destroyed instantly. You've got Pack 40 in there. The Guerrilla probably couldn't reach it at that point. But yeah, so Pack 40 that got it. These Maoris in this position want to be dropping those back to the flag. Probably out of flames now. You've got no engineers either, so it's a problem. Again, same situation here again. You've got your tank ahead of your infantry. You want your infantry ahead of your tank. So the infantry can spot out for you, and then you can move up the tank to shoot and support as and when it can. Yeah, and I'd always try and use the attack move order. Even though you think it's safe there, you never know. Just attack move order. And these are two clumped up again. Want to leave one or two back here. A little bit staggered. They probably have some success. Yeah. Planes are not going to have much luck. You can see the AA here and here, but you're trying to pick those off. This is where you want to be using your arty. Bring some arty out to try and deal with the AA if you want to bring your planes in. Or if planes aren't working on this side, try them over here. Yeah, if you can gain air control over this sort of area and be able to bomb out this forest, it's very helpful. But it's difficult to do because you can have AA on both sides that's hitting you then. And this both is probably a little bit too far back. Doesn't have the best line of sight. Maybe better to put it round about here, possibly over here, but you don't have any equipment to back you up in this area. These are going to die to the AA. This one, oh, not quite. So maybe you managed to pin down his AA there. That was good. Oh, it looks like he's on the move, his AA, so he's just out of position. Now, these Spitfires can be very handy. I'm sure one of them's going to go down at this rate. Yeah, there's a lot. The AA is back up now. It's not pinned anymore. It's likely to go down. Oof. It's going to make it. Barely makes it out alive. But I think you got the right idea with the air. You want to be using them at the same time. Maybe get your Baltimore to come in first once it starts getting shot at. Have the Spitfires come in and try and take it out.
I think I've been hit.
Arty now. Oh, this is a big no-no. I think you did this over here before. You unloaded your artillery on the road. Never do that, because then counter battery will hit you on the reinforcement road to be really bad. If you unload these here as well, you have the same problem. If you're reinforcing down this road and they're on counter battery, they will kill any other reinforcement units coming in this road. So move them up as far away from the reinforcement road as you can, but where they can still get resupplied. So it's much better to have it over here.
Just get me out of here! We need
And now it
more
looks like we've got
bait,
off-map spam coming in here. So yeah, these are good use of these because it's a good area to use them to clear out these forests when you've lost it. Oh, nothing wrong with that. Yeah, the AA is very strong over here. So yeah, you're going to start to lose more and more fighters.
¿Cómo este pirata?
Yeah, overall it
Yes,
looks like
sir.
you're not really focusing in areas properly, and a lot of your stuff is getting sniped and transports, it seems. At this point again, I think it's so far behind on points, it's really difficult to come back. You still not put anything over here as well, which is
Ah, típica.
a bad move, I would say. You could, if I was playing this game now, I'd probably try and sneak some Shermans around here, some AT guns as well. Get some recon into here. Try and get a wraparound going where you can get into range with your tanks, and they can put them in and out of cover to protect them. Put an AA piece back here as well to help out, because it looks like this is not going to be much good for you. Possibly after you've used all your off maps on it, then you can go in there. But I think attempting over here might help. Also, other things you can use, what I was mentioning before, your mortars. They've got 10 rounds of smoke on these ones. You've not used any, or maybe not that I've seen anyway. But yeah, using smoke is really, really important in this game. So dropping some smoke. So it looks like you could drop some smoke into this area, rush some units in, maybe try and pressure on this flag as well if you can. That will be your way to get in there, because Shermans are not that great. They're really good at close quarter combat, but at range combat to get picked off, yeah, they can be a real problem. This is where you want to bring in your Wolverines to help take care of any of their armor. But let's just have a quick look on neutral. Again, this is a mistake here. All of this could win him the game. Right? He just rushed all of this forward. He could literally take everything off you, because there's just too much to fire at here. Lots of Vespers in use here. I don't think they're the best things, but effective in this game at the moment. And very little armor from your opponent as well. It's just lots of support equipment. To be fair, it's not really needed to use much armor. There's a Tiger in here, which could deal with anything you throw at it, really. If you get a 17 pounder in, sneak it into around here, get it up onto the hill a bit, could deal with a Tiger then. But because you don't have control of this forest, it's going to be hard. All your off-map falling down. Again, look at all the units you see as near your Stern Pioneers. So you've managed to gain that flag back, but I still think this would be the area to pressure. The Tiger there would be difficult to deal with, but again, 17 pounder in here can help deal with this, and you can sneak your tanks around and keep it out of line of sight of the Tiger. Especially if you've got a recon unit in it to spot and see what's going on for you. But I don't think there's a lot more I can say about this at the moment. Again, this is bad. You've unloaded 2 more right on the road. Any reinforcements coming in here, you've already seen it's been counter-battering you. And I imagine these things will be coming online in a second, as he's just like reloading them. As soon as he presses counter battery on these, he's going to smash these to pieces, and anything coming down the road as well. Yeah, already dealt with those ones, so any reinforcements coming in here would have been taken out, I imagine. Yeah, when you've got one unit, you don't want to be pushing forward. You've basically lost the fight. You don't have dedicated CQC infantry in there. Just hold on to this flag as long as you can, and keep him guessing. You see, all these reinforcements coming in, you're kind of lucky that he's not fired at you. He's not got counter battery on, because he could have sniped some of these units. Are these going to fire? A currently they have, yeah, they've been reloaded and just looks like he's forgot to put them on counter battery for a while. Yeah, Vespi not that good. If you've got 4 of them, no, pretty decent. But if you had some on counter battery, the mobile artillery pieces, they're not as great because they've still got a slow rate of fire, 4 rounds per minute. So if you put counter battery on, you get a direct hit on this, you're going to destroy it straight away. Whereas on for these 25 pounders, they're much more survivable, but you can't move them out of the way as quickly. But 4-bat mechanic will usually save them if there's counter battery coming down on them a lot, and you want to get them out of the way. Okay, stakes here. Not unloading in time. This is something I always used to do when I started playing the game. I would just bring in reinforcements, forget about it because I was distracted on the map, and then I look back and they've all been killed out in the open by something. Yeah, from your point of view here, you can't see everything that's going on there, but at this point in the game, he's pushed around this far. You can see the front line. He's got units in here, most likely machine gunners and packs. So you want to be aware of those. So these Shermans are doing decent work against the pack there, but the Flak 41 is also in there. Great AT capability, especially in combo with another AT gun. So you're going to collapse there as well. As you can see, the 6-pounder all game, I don't think it's done a single thing. Or it might have. Has it fired a shot? Possibly fired at something around here, but generally it's of no use to you there. No use whatsoever. It would have been better putting it in somewhere like here and keeping it hidden for most of the time, and then have a recon unit in here to spot for you, and if you see something you can snipe, then pop it out, shoot, and then pop it back into cover again. And a machine gun, but often opponents, here we've got MG42, very common sight around here, so if any support weapons in here will get mashed up by the MG42, and there's also a Pak 40 as well. So yeah, you need to be cautious about that. That's why I say put a recon in first to spot and make sure it's safe for you to come out. But then you would mortar these positions quite heavily, push them out, get your own machine guns in here, your own equipment to cover this road. Because he never really took advantage of this with all these half tracks and came down here, and he could have quite easily. Yeah, other than that, that's about it. Anyway, I will let's get out of here now. So I just want to show you about how to set up your deployment quickly. It's something I don't think there's I think Attack Power Gaming made a video about it, but not many of us. I remember asking about this for quite a while because I could see people playing when I used to watch on like Twitch or YouTube or something. I could see them doing it, but I didn't know how they were doing it. So I'll just go to skirmish. I'll do yeah, okay, launch. Alright, so for example, come on, I can go faster than this. Alright, so let's just deploy anywhere. Here, doesn't really matter. Alright, so. Oh, this is the new division. Anyway, so just chuck a load of units down here. Chuck some of them down there. Chuck a leader down here. Put one of these beautiful tanks in. Another one of those. And that. Alright, so just for example. So, as you can see, I can select all the units, put in a box around them. Then I tab. Mortar, tab, tank, and then tab. I get all of these units at once. Now, I don't tab through and give them orders. I do something different. Leave them all selected like this. Then I would say, I want my mortar to unload. Let's say I want to unload it here. So once I've done that, I then press shift and left click onto the mortar here and remove it. Okay. Then I can do the same again. Like so, these tanks, where do I want them to go? So I want to quick hunt both my tanks to here, and then I press shift, left click on both tanks, and they're gone. Now for the next ones, I want to the Rosioris. So I've got 2 assault. I want them to go into the forest. So I can see those there. So I want to unload them here. And then I get rid of that, and I'll throw in a Rosiori with them for fun. Then I want to unload my leader here. So I'll move that. Then the rest of the Rosiori, I can maybe just shift. This is where I would use tab. These are all the same units. I know roughly what I want to do. So unload this one here. Unload this one here. Unload this one here. And unload this one now here. Doesn't really matter. Alright, now, if I select all my units, you can see they are all going to the positions. So it just takes a bit of getting used to do this. I do it without thinking about now, but once you've done it a few times, it becomes second nature. Alright, well hopefully that is useful. So if you see, like the mortar at the start, where is it? Where's the mortar? Mortar. So just select that, you can see it's going exactly where I said. Only that is going there, everything else is going elsewhere. So it's really important thing, really important thing to do. Another thing you can do, have I got any units with, oh I don't think I have actually. It's something I saw in this game actually. I saw Step Knight done it at the start, which is a really nice idea. I've never done this before. What he was doing with his recon cars, he was doing this. He was going quick on up to here, then reverse. This is holding down shift by stacking orders. So reverse to here, then quick on to here, and reverse, then quick on to here, and reverse. So this is a really neat trick you can do as well. And it's good to do with your tank. So maybe I would do this with a couple of these over here. So I bring one out to here, and I would quick hunt to here, and then maybe I want to retreat it back into the forest so it's a bit safer. Maybe move it back to here. And with the other one, I might quick hunt it round to here, maybe to here, and then reverse it. So you can stack orders. You just hold down shift, you press your order, hold down shift, and then stack more on top of it. What you can also do, but I don't think I have I got a supply truck? Are there? No. Ah, so here. So this has got a transport, which is worth money. So the Hotchkiss, I can unload here, and I can also then give the transport unit another order, so I can then fast move it to there. So it will drop the AA piece here, and then it will fast move over to here. And you can do the same if you've got infantry in half tracks, which is extremely useful thing to do. So these are all really good things to keep in mind when you're deploying. Again, usually if you're playing against someone on quick play, you just sort of say, oh, I'm a new player, can you give me a bit more time in deployment? People are generally okay with doing that. But this, for the times where you have to do it quickly, this is how you can do it. Just show you how quickly I can do all this. So let's just give them all stupid orders, like attack here, everything. Let's select all this, and I just want to give it all a move orders here. So right, oh no, I've messed up all my orders. So now I just quickly go through. Oh, what I would do now, if the game was about to start any second, I would fast move to here. Okay, then let's launch battle. Oh, so I've got fast move right, so launch battle. So, oh my god, right now, as the guys are on the move, I can tab through, unload this here, get rid of that. I want them on quick hunt over here, so I'll get rid of that and that and that. And then they've got, what else have we got here? The Rosiori Assault, I want them to unload here. So that one and that one and that one. Unload my leader here as well. So get rid of that. These two I want them to fast move up to, say, here. I want to unload this here and then fast move that there. Get rid of that. Those are dealt with. Then I've just got the rest of my Rosiori. I can unload here. Unload here. Unload here. Unload here. And unload, say, here. So even if someone starts before, there's another way you can do the same thing. Oops, those are moving over there now. So that's how you can help yourself in terms of the deployment. Yeah, I'll call it a day there. So that's that. Hope it's useful. I'll see you again whenever. Bye bye.